What's up, everybody? It's another week down with the Accolades Market Flow Family Podcast, something like that. I got my esteemed co-host with me tonight, well, yet again, the Stock Odin. How you doing, Mr. Odin?
What's going on, man? Ready to find out some more stuff about Joe here.
Yeah,
Yo.
we got a special guest on tonight. He's got a lot in the works. He's been creating a lot of stuff, and we got Joe Baus on with us tonight. How you doing, Joe?
Doing good.
It's good to hear. Good to hear. So, Joe, before we get into anything anything, I guess, crazy, why don't you give us like a little backstory on your life, how you got into the trading industry, the finance industry, and all good stuff.
Along with how you got into wanting to make technical stuff.
Yeah, that too. All that good stuff. All the meat and potatoes.
I actually got a really awesome story. So back in 2013, I ran like a 200-300 man online gaming community. We pretty much played every single game. We played PlanetSide, World of Warcraft, all the major MMOs. We were running weekly events for like 2 years straight for pretty much all those games. And we ran CSGO tournaments. We were doing a lot. Then came the time when we wanted to pay for servers. We wanted to buy stuff, birthday presents, video cards, so people could upgrade their computers. And just people didn't have money. And that kind of made me upset because, everyone's really good friends at this point. So I'm just kind of hanging around one day at my house, and my brother comes to me and he pulls up his laptop and he says, "Hey, Josh, come over here." And on it, I didn't know at the time, but he shows me this web page and he's like, "Look at this," and he buys something. And he's like, "The government's never going to know about this." I'm like, "What? What are you doing here? Give me some context, man." And he's on the Silk Road buying weed with some Bitcoin. And then he's like, "The most important thing that you just learned today is Bitcoin. I want you to go online and research this because you're a smart kid and you can figure this out." So I go online and I have this money problem because I have a bunch of 16-year-olds who are using servers that are hundreds of dollars, and I can't get enough cash out of them in donations. So I'm like, okay, after doing some research on this Bitcoin thing, I figure out, I could create a bat script and send that to all my friends and have them mine overnight on their computers. And with that money that we generate from mining Bitcoin, we can use that to buy the birthday presents, pay for our servers, do game giveaways, do all this cool stuff. So at that point, 2013, keep that in mind.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, we started. And I have to convince 50, 70 people individually that this is not going to blow up their computers and fix their graphics cards. And I have some people going behind my back saying, "Joe's just running some kind of scam here. Bitcoin's never going to work. It's like some government conspiracy money." So I had to deal with being called an idiot as a Bitcoin early adopter at the time. But I got a lot of people who were, at that point, just brand new onto mining Bitcoin. And we did that. We were able to do all those cool things once we mined that Bitcoin. And with that, because I understood it at such a young age, I'm like, oh, wow, this is really cool. Then came time to actually pay the damn bills in Bitcoin. Here's the problem, and here's what got me into trading. I had to convert the Bitcoin into dollars. This was the ultimate sin, because Bitcoin at that point in time had just hit $1,000 for the very first time. And it was on its long, long road to $250. And I had to figure out, okay, I have all these guys who are now mining Bitcoin for me, so I can go ahead and essentially give it back to them. And as the price of Bitcoin was going down, some of these guys stopped mining. They're like, "Why are we doing this? It's worth nothing. It's going to zero." And then I have to go ahead and convince these guys again. And at that point, I figure, okay, I need to figure out some way to maintain the value of whatever work these guys put into mining. And at that point, I'm like, okay, let me go to an exchange and figure out how I can, as soon as we mine the Bitcoin, turn it into dollars. So I go to an exchange and I convert into dollars. And this also was never a huge sum of money. It was like only a couple $100 at the time because
Yeah.
we only ever mined like, 3 or 4 Bitcoin. And if you're only looking at
Yeah,
$1,000 or
only like
500,
3 or 4 Bitcoin. I mean, if you still had it now.
but you know what? I have no regrets about it. I have
Yeah.
absolutely no regrets about it because I did a lot of really good things, and I still have a lot of those people as friends today, and I still talk to a lot of them. And those are friendships I've had now for like more than a decade. So I
Yeah.
absolutely don't regret it. When it comes down to the conversion, though, I'd convert the Bitcoin into dollars, and then sometimes I get pissed because I'd be getting out of Bitcoin at some low for like a week or 2 week period, and then I'm like, oh crap, now I've like lost some money, even though you're not trading at that point. I wasn't doing
Yeah.
any real trading. I was, for all intents and purposes, just trying to be as clear, I don't know, fiduciary as possible with, okay, I have some guys, they're mining for me, they're my friends. We're using this to buy video games for ourselves. It's like a community thing, but I'm the guy with the keys and trying to make sure that it doesn't lose I'm just trying to not lose as much money as this thing goes down, 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 down. So I figure, okay, once it's in dollars, it's done. That's it. That's the end of the game. But then I figure out, I can convert the dollars to yen or the dollars to Australian dollars and then into Canadian and then into euros and then back into dollars and make like 2%.
Wow.
And I'm like, okay, before I do this, let me talk to some people first. Let me talk to the guys who I'm doing this for and see if they're okay with it. And you know what? They turned out they said, if you're really confident about this, you can do it. Just don't lose. Just do it with a segment of it. And
Yeah.
so I, at like the age, I'm 25 now, but this was 2013, so I was like 16.
Yeah.
So at the age of 16, I didn't know what the word arbitrage meant, what fiduciary responsibility was, what being a portfolio manager was, what being like responsible in the terms of being totally transparent with people when it comes down to managing money or doing all these things. Now, I don't do that for anybody else. I just do it for myself now. And
Yeah.
that was only a short stint in time because guess what? Those guys out in China came out with ASICs for Bitcoin. And so we stopped mining Bitcoin and then we had to do Litecoin. So now I was dealing with also trading, doing conversions in Litecoin and Bitcoin. And then I had to start managing those transactions. So I got really, really good when I first started learning how to trade at not losing money. As just flat out, okay, I have an asset. How do I make it lose as little money as possible? Because it was in a bear market.
Yeah.
And it was not a huge sum of money. It was like less than $2,000. But it was a really significant learning experience for me because it put me into the proper mindset when I went out and started looking at all these guys doing technical analysis, fundamental analysis, quantitative analysis, and sentiment analysis. It really put me into, the point of view that I need to be cautious, first off, because you can have crazy events occur and totally take you out, or things continue in a direction you're not expecting.
Yep.
Those are some really, really big risks that need to be accounted for. And there are ways to account for them in those different, 4 styles: quantitative, technical, fundamental, sentiment. There are ways to account for all those things. And that's kind of how I look at trading, my approach to it. And I use all those factors today.
Yeah. That's a pretty cool story. So you were trading Bitcoin before most probably were. I know I had a little same kind of similar experience, except for I was using it to buy weed and other stuff is
Exactly.
online. So
Exactly.
I
Yeah.
think the first Bitcoin purchase I had was like 28 cents or something like that. I was like 14, 15 years old, and I didn't even know what it was. It was how you used money on the Silk Road, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's
It's
pretty
funny.
funny.
It's funny that you say that because we all basically have
Some experience.
used Bitcoin in well, I mean, I guess Joe didn't, but
Yeah, he was using it in a better way
I
than
was
we
using
were
it in
using
the
it.
most legitimate way
Yeah,
possible.
yeah, he
I'm
was
like,
he
I'm like,
wasn't
oh
breaking
man, this could
laws.
solve my gaming addiction.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
man.
that's pretty cool. So that brought you to the markets. That gave you your introduction into some sort of trading, some sort of I guess whatever cryptocurrency we'll say. And
Oh
then
yeah.
what brought your interest to more of the technical side and the macro? Because I know you're real huge in like macroeconomics and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you right now, when I started actually trying to figure out, okay, how do I do broader market analysis so I can get better at just managing what assets I do have to manage the risk. I was not a huge, you know, proponent of TA, and I'm still pretty much not. It's just that to this day, I have a better understanding of what assumptions the tools in technical analysis are making.
Okay.
Whereas back then, someone tells you, oh, you've come down to this line, you buy that line. Well, there are certain assumptions that are kind of not disclosed or discussed that come in before that decision for that analyst to say we buy at this line. For example, if you want to buy at a line, you want to make sure you have a generally positive market environment.
Yeah.
If you have a negative market environment, sentiment outlook wise, you're probably going to break through that line. Risk events, stuff like that. It's just
Yeah.
there's so many reasons, so many assumptions that can be made about a line on a chart that,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, you can use technical analysis as a really good guide. It's just a matter of what kind of assumptions are you attributing to it.
I got you. Yeah. So that's funny that you. So I'm
That's why some guys are
mainly,
really
yeah.
awesome at TA, right?
So this is
Because
not
they
what
get the
my
assumptions.
yeah, this is what my view on it is I use TA. That's how I trade. I'm a technical trader, but I'm a day trader, so I'm using it for quick in and out moves. If you're looking at an overall trend, like we can pull up here. So like we're in a bear market right now, right? Friday just confirmed it on the SPY. It did break back over and hold, but it did confirm it for a little bit that we were in a bear market. And I've got all my lines, but I use them just for intraday moves. I'm not really
Yeah.
looking because I know that this is going to bounce off of this line like it did, and then it's probably going to come down and break through it.
Yeah,
Like
you want a level, you want to keep a level in mind, but you don't want to remember it. You put a mark down
exactly.
on it.
Yeah, exactly. So I do know that some people think it's like the book, that's it. TA is it, but there is so many more aspects. Like you said, there's fundamentals, quantum,
There's a
there's
lot of
sentimental. You've
assumptions.
got to put
Even
everything when you're
even for
long term.
quants, even for quants, they make assumptions, and there are plenty of quant funds throughout history that have blown up on those assumptions. And there's plenty of fundamental traders who have blown up by having incorrect assumptions about whatever fundamental aspect of the economy they're trying to trade.
Yeah.
It's really about how good kind of your assumptions are. What are you making your assumptions and decisions on the market based off of?
Yeah. I got you. Okay. Yeah. So with this market, I know you said that you've been more so on the indicator, like creating and stuff like that, but you do have
Mhm.
holdings. What are you expecting in the future on like what we're looking at right now? Do you think we still got more way down, or what do you got? What have you been looking at?
For the SPY, man,
Just in general, the broader markets.
for the broader markets right now, the expectation is that there's probably going to be a rebound.
Okay.
That's the current expectation. I mean, from the 30 or so outlooks, weekly outlooks and monthly outlooks I've got, the global market environment is that there's going to be some kind of bounce over the next week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's exactly what I had posted in the Discord. Actually, today I wrote out a whole thing. I expect a nice bounce up, probably to 415, 420s on the SPY, and then I had the QQQ and the other ones, which are all just ETFs that follow the markets. Which brings me to a good point here, which we forgot to do in the beginning. If you come across this video, if at any point we're not financial advisors, we're just chatting, talking shop here. No, don't take our advice or don't take our word as advice or buy and sell signals. As well as if you're not a part of our trading community, Akalades Trading Discord, hit the link below.
Join
Join the Discord. We have a lot of fun. Joe just joined. I got Odin over here alerting 2,000% bangers on every Friday. So we have a lot of fun. And hit the link, join us. And then we'll get to some of our other links at the end. So, yeah, I agree with you on that. I wrote out a whole thing. We just hit the bottom trend line. We bounced, reclaimed over a key level on the SPY. I think we're going to rally at least a week and a half before more downside. I do think we got some more downside to go. There's just too much coming up. With inflation, I don't think we're going to – I think the next CPI numbers after rate hikes are going to be, people are expecting them for inflation to taper off, and I don't think it's going to yet. I think we got at least a good year before we start to see real improvements on the inflation. So why don't you tell us a little bit about, so you told us how you got into the market. You told us, what you do, why don't you tell us how you came to trading, how you came to creating technical indicators? Because that's really what you do, right? You create a lot of technical indicators, scripts, and that sort.
Yeah, that's where I honestly spend most of my time. I don't day trade like you. I really, really do swing trade. My last trade was actually selling. Oh, what was it? I think New Zealand.
You don't even remember his last trade.
Yeah, no, because I exited it like a week ago. No, I shorted New Zealand yen, I believe, on April. I know it was 420. I shorted on 420, and then I got out. I think the 8th of May.
Okay. So
yeah,
you sure do bring up a lot of things that have to do with 420.
Oh my god, man! Yeah.
So you shorted. So you're mainly a longer swing trader. So that's cool.
Yeah.
But so what brought you to the indicators? What brought you to that?
Well, the truth is that I just wanted better indicators for myself.
Okay.
I was for a period following a trader named Wayne McDonald.
Okay.
And he has a pivot points indicator. And at that point, I'm not really enamored with trading and indicators, but combined with his analysis, his outlook, and his bias on the indicators, the assumptions that he puts onto the indicators at certain points in time led him to actually being very consistent and hitting swing trades actually quite frequently. So I was like, okay, let me give this a shot. So I went ahead and I did a pilot of Wayne's pivots, and there's a version of that for free on TradingView on my account right now. And I'm like, this isn't good enough. So I go ahead and I work and I make another one. And I make Wayne's Pivots Pro, which is just a nicer version of a pivot points indicator.
Okay.
But then this is going to sound a little cliche, but one day I was sitting in a statistics class and we were going over some basic concepts. And one of the things that we were doing was something related to weighted averages. And I'm like, that's kind of interesting. And I'm looking at this, all I remember is I'm looking at this chart of a histogram with a weighted average. And I'm like, I just twist it on its side and I'm like, I could build that as like, as an indicator. And that's how I got the idea for making this seasonal indicator called pivot probabilities, which tells you, what you can do with it is you can plug in, let's say, we're currently in the month of April. or rather,
Uh-huh.
no, May.
May.
We're in the month of May.
He's
Don't let
still
me
thinking
forget.
about
No,
420.
don't let me forget. Yeah, man, I got it on my mind right now. Yeah. No, so we're in the month of May, so you just plug May into the indicator, and it will spit out, okay, do you want the high, the low, or the close? And it'll tell you between which two pivot points the high, the low, and the close have historically come in during the month of May. And so again, it can be a little bit to wrap your head around if you don't know how seasonality is calculated or how pivot points work. So there's assumptions there that I'm making right now describing the indicator. But for those who know, it's I'll tell you right now, it's like the number one thing I use in my trading. It's the thing that helped me pick my that New Zealand yen short trade.
Okay.
Yeah, I use it
that
all the
trade paid off, I'm assuming.
Yeah, 500 pips.
Nice. Okay. Damn. Okay. All right. So that's how we got into the indicators. So, and then I know Odin just quickly posted a link as well. So for all of Joe's free trading view indicators, we got the link here, and then we're also now an affiliate with Joe. And you guys, I don't have our affiliate link yet.
We gotta get that.
Well, we're gonna get it set up, and at the
later.
bottom of this video, you'll have the affiliate link. You can go on there. You can check it out. You know, if you want to expand on your technical analysis, you want to look into some of the different stuff he offers. He offers a lot of stuff on his on the website, so check that out. And then you got the free ones here as well. We got the few free indicators that you were just mentioning. There was one that you mentioned right there, so definitely hit that. We also got his Twitter here for those watching. Hit the Twitter, follow Joe. Or Josh, sorry, I don't know why I said Joe because you put it as Joe.
Well,
that's why.
well,
Yeah,
as
Josh.
Well, the reason why people call me Joe instead of Josh is my real first name. People call me. I've been called Joe since I was a little kid. It was just a nickname that my best friend gave me when I was growing up. So ever since it's just people frequently call. Yeah, it's just been Joe. But it's interchangeable for me, really.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll call you Joe. So, yeah, hit Joe's links. We'll have them all under this video, and as well as he's in our Discord, and we'll put your Discord link down there as well. I'm in his Discord. Odin's in there. He's got a lot of neat stuff in there. A lot of breakdowns of the broader markets and different things that like the banks, all sorts of stuff. Half this shit I don't even understand. But I've been doing some of my own due diligence on it, and it's definitely good to broaden your. That's what this is all about, right? We can never stop learning. We got to just keep learning, keep sucking off of people, sponging off of people, and keep learning. Now,
there's something
Odin,
there for everybody.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Odin, you got any questions for Joe while we got him on here before we get into our segment on the SPY this week?
Not really. I mean, at the moment, I'm sure that I'll think of something here shortly. I've got
we could chop it up too. We'll chop it up throughout it. So we're gonna do a quick breakdown like we always do here on the Market Flow podcast of the SPY, the S&P 500 ETF Trust, which is what we frequently trade in our Discord. I mean, we trade a lot of small caps. I'm a short bias small cap trader, but turned recently since meeting Odin into a SPY options trader as well, and so this past week was crazy, right? We had the biggest red day since COVID. We had a 4-point-something%. I think it recovered a little bit of it that day. Not 4.3%, 4.03%. So it was the biggest red day. You can look on the chart, look on the candles, the biggest red day since the COVID drop. And as well as the whole entire week had the biggest range since the COVID drop to the downside as well. And then we had that super rally on Friday. So Odin, what do you want to what do you want to recap on last week? I know we had quite a few big alerts. We had your 2,000%er on Friday. I had a couple 600%ers on Apple and SPY beginning of the day on Friday, and then we had, the beginning of the week too. You think you gave us a 1,500%er too, right?
I think it was a couple alerts that were like 300 or 400%. I'd have to go back and look, but
it was pretty wild this past week. Volatility has been crazy. What is your your projection on this volatility, the market? What do you think's going on into next week?
I was mine. I'm pretty short biased on the market as a whole.
Yeah.
For the longer term kind of. I feel like we get quite a lot of chop. Obviously, the technology in today's trading is a lot different than it was in the previous, downtrends.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, that's
so
what I was thinking too. Is it's been so controlled this whole rally down.
well, I mean, it's just simple. There's more money in, especially since large caps and everything, options and derivatives are a big thing now. That a lot of the money is in options. So it makes more sense to make, to chop the whole way down. I mean, the inevitable, but there's more money by simply up, down, to be traded hands. And so it's a lot easier to control through the algos they have nowadays and electronic trading. So, I still do think that, the longer term that we're still going to go down quite a bit. I definitely think we're going, at the minimum of mid 300s, but I do think we're going to rebound a little bit. Not nothing crazy. Definitely the four the anywhere. I'm right now. I'm not going to give a huge exact number, but anywhere from the 400 to the 415, that we were all talking about.
Yeah.
So it kind of just depends how it plays out here. But I do think, in the next few weeks, we probably will head down a little bit. But yeah, I mean, I was mind blown this week. I didn't even being, biased on it or short at the time, to see a day that was pretty much 5% almost, and then you had Friday. That was like almost a 5% drop from the top of its high
pre-market high to the low.
To the bottom. So I mean,
yeah.
But obviously,
409. It went oh wait, was that Friday? No, that was Thursday. You're talking Thursday. 409 pre-market high to the bottom was about 5%, and then Friday was just as crazy. We had almost 3%, and then rallied to green in the last hour.
So the high.
So this was Friday. So Friday. Oh wait, no, this isn't Friday. This is Friday. High was 395, and then the low was 380. So 15-point move.
4.15%.
Yeah. So and then we rallied green. We ended green on the day, just slightly, right? Was it green on the day, or did we went green and then went red into close? No, we closed green. 0.04% on the day. We closed green.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. So, I mean, just from this past 2 days, from the top to the bottom, you're talking 8%, 9%. We moved from 409s to.
Definitely been a wild week, it's definitely been wild.
Yeah, it's been crazy. So yeah, I agree. I've got I think this next week and a half, I'm short bias as well. I think I was just pulling up the weekly chart here. I'm thinking the minimum that we will see, the absolute minimum, and my guess is going to be this 200 MA on the weekly chart, which is going to be probably at the time will be around 340s. That's the minimum. If we give that up, I think we got. I mean, it's so. It depends. So it depends on the CPI, these next coming CPI data readings, as well as quite a few other factors. But overall, I'm bearish. But this week, I am a little bullish, even though every time I go bullish on the S&P, I get smoked, like just completely get smoked. It's like I should have just stuck to my bias. But yeah, I think we're right on the bottom trend line, right on a support. We bounced off, reclaimed a key level here. I think we're going to bounce at least up to 409 to 415, and then we'll see what happens there. Yeah. So other than that, we got the S&P, we out the way, the analysis. Anything else you're watching for this week? I know you said you're probably going to end up taking this week off, and you're building the website up, which we've got someone.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna, take, I trade, I work full time, plus I trade full time. So, I think I'm just gonna take, I haven't had any time off, I'm not gonna I'm transparent. Last week wasn't the best of week for me. I went a little bullish when realistically, overall I'm bearish, but I just was kind of mind blown at the situation. So, sometimes it's just good to take a week off, and this is my week off, get some things done, get the website done, spend time with the kids. So yeah, I think I'm going to take the week off. Might take a small overnight position or something, but I don't think I'm going to trade at all. So, but yeah, my areas for SPY looking, like I said, the 410 to the 415. I mean, that's really would be a nice trade if it rebounds to there.
Yeah, 410, 415, and then we'll see what happens up in that area up here. I agree. Yeah, I don't think we go much higher than that. We can if it does break out somehow. Let's say they want to do like what they did over here and just like walk it up, low volume walk up here. We can probably see as high as the 30s before we head back down.
That's what I was basically the 429.80 area to the 431. But and it's very possible. I mean, we could get a rally like that to come back, but anything short of that I don't really, because that'd be like around from one of the fib lines I have drawn up, that would be a 38% retracement, so that would be pretty high. 420 would be around the 50% retracement, so for one of the fibs I have drawn. So yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, we'll see. I'm sure everything that we think is going to happen, I mean, it'll happen, just we'll get surprised throughout the way like always. The same thing happened to me. I mean, I did really well on my small cap account, my main account, but my options account, I pretty much smoked it until Friday. Like I took this account from $5,000 about a month or so ago to just over PDT, just trading options, pretty much just following Odin's options and then taking some on my own when he's working. And this past week, I got too bullish too quick. And this whole day, I kept trying calls on the bounce. I thought it was going to bounce. It would give me like 5-10% and then drop lower. I kept trying calls again, not even 5-10% on the calls, and then it would drop lower. And it just kept, it was so gnarly. Like, I did not expect it. It hit me from definitely out of nowhere. I did not expect it.
Blindsided.
Yeah, blindsided the hell out of me. Even to the point that when you alerted the calls on Friday, I didn't take them just because it was like 2 days, 3 days of straight red. And I was like, we just dropped 15 points, 10 points. I'm like, I'm not even gonna fuck with it because I keep getting smoked. And then they go 2,000% into the close.
Yep. Necker gotta get his first 1,000% trade out of me.
Yeah, Necro got his first day trading options, and he is blessed with over 1,000% gain. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, the second day in.
Second day in, yeah, and he hits 1,000%. Like, I probably hit in 5,000, like where I've actually held a contract in my entire short 3-year career where I've actually, and that was when I was gambling, because I used to blow accounts up gambling on options. That's why I was so scared to get back into them this time, because I built a nice portfolio, nice thing, and I'm like, you know what, I'll take money and put it in a different account because I'll F around and I'll blow this thing up if I get too crazy.
That's smart.
Yeah. So, but yeah, Necro second day in, he's cracking 1,000%.
Yeah, I was like, "You're still holding, right? You're still holding, right?" And I'm like, "Now you can cut."
Yeah, sell now 5 minutes before the close. That was a question I wanted to ask you about too, which I asked in the Discord, but everyone was gassed the fuck up at the end of the day, so that it got clouded. So when you get a 0 DTE, right, and it's an hour before close, and it runs up into the money like yours did, 1,000%. Like, you have a buyer at the close to sell that to?
Yeah, typically you do. If you, depending on who you use, you can pick for it not to be exercised. Some, like, an auto, and you got to tell it not to. Usually the exchange will, if you don't do it, the exchange will sell it for you at the very end, or it gets exchanged out somehow.
And they give you the percentage gain that you have?
I've never done it that way very often, or looked into it. But I do know some exchanges charge you if they have to do it for, like, if they have to sell it for you. So, but yeah, typically they're moving so heavy at that point, that there's going to be some sort of, buyer. I mean, it even
Okay.
goes up. So, I mean, I don't know if you're
Well,
holding,
yeah, I'm sure there's people that too that
100,000 contracts, but if you're only holding a few hundred, they're the algos and everything else usually on something that big, you
they'll
don't
eat
have
them
an
up.
issue getting out of.
Yeah, I got you. So,
At least I
and I'm
never
sure
have.
there's probably some big guys that are waiting for those contracts to be put up for the ones in the money, and they snatch them up and exercise them.
Yep. So
Yeah. So okay, so that's interesting. Yeah, because I was wondering that on Friday. I was like, these motherfuckers are holding this thing right into the close. They expire today. They're up thousands of percent. Like, how does that work? Do they exercise them automatically? Do they take the? Do they just the algos just take them off of you and pay you, or does it just close it out
well,
on
I
its
mean,
own in the
a lot of
green?
these big people too. I mean, obviously exercising them. If people aren't hedged correctly, you're literally helping shove the price up by exercising, those
Yeah,
options. So, if some of these institutions got in, early enough and,
long. Yeah, yeah,
and they exercise instead, and because they truly feel that it's going to continue up, or they can help continue up by exercising them and forcing the sellers to buy if they weren't hedged. So I mean, I would say some do get exercised.
yeah. I would imagine so. I'm sure there was quite a few funds that were pumping because that thing was moving violently into
Yeah.
the close on Friday. That was a violent move. I mean, obviously, probably a lot of short covering, also bottom trend lines, and we're bouncing off of them again. That was a second test. So if we don't rally, I do expect us to like really just give it up, like harder than we gave it up last week. If we don't have a nice, 2 to 3 day green day, to at least that 409, I think we just give it straight up, like I've been calling for, but we haven't gotten yet. That circuit breaker day.
I'm real big into obviously, and it's only assumption, nothing's actually factual.
Yeah.
So hold on. So just looking at it, I'm like I said, nothing's really factual, but here we've already got a nice wave down, and then you've got another and then one here to end it off. So I really look at this as some people, it's an impulse wave down. So that's the one and the two. This is usually, the way I view it, and really what matters to me is I understand it. I don't get too far into the technicals of super cycles and people doing super crazy things. It's just more about correlating it with my brain. Usually your third wave, or what I refer to them as 1, 2, and 3. I don't count the pulls backs, because then it's not really a 3-leg move. Then it's a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 move. But I look at this as pretty much 1, and then this is 2, and this might have been 3. But obviously, it's a smaller wave of the bigger picture. But so I could see like a 50% retracement, maybe less. The 61 to the 50. I mean, this would be a big rally, in my opinion, to ever make it up here. But it's very possible, with the way that SPY moves in its volatility. But I mean, really playing out, I think once you see the bigger picture, you can kind of see it is time for some sort of pullback. I mean, I'm not saying it has to, but I mean, usually in the way that I study it, to me, it looks like it's ready. It looks pretty oversold on a lot of time frames, which doesn't matter, but it's psychological stuff. But
Yeah, it's
yeah.
underextended. You could call it
Yeah.
the
So I mean,
opposite
and
of
a lot of people,
overextended.
they don't know how to read a chart, backwards. You can always flip it, and you can look at the bigger picture, as a bullish movement for the bulls that can't seem to, throw their mind to be bearish. I mean, this to me, in my opinion, is the first impulse wave back here. And this
Yeah.
is the second one. So, I expect it to really, I don't want, it's definitely, in my opinion, not really gonna, I really don't even know. Oh, this might be backwards. So since I don't want to say that, since I inverse the chart, but yeah, I really don't see it possibly.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I just put those fibs up where from your top to the bottom there on that little, the smaller, and the highest with the fit on a fib retracement scale would be right at that 50% retracement, 420.97 that I could see as because that would bring it to a triple top two area where a triple topped or double topped and then it kind
So
of folded.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I definitely like. I wouldn't mind the 416, the 46.
Yeah,
Yeah,
four
I don't
four
know.
sixteen to
I'm not.
470.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
we'll
not
see.
worried about it.
We'll see. Yeah, I mean, either way, we don't play them on a longer term time frame anyway. We really are looking for the intraday moves in our Discord. We're not really swinging anything right now. Besides, I got a couple swings on that are for the upcoming holiday, the Juneteenth holiday that's coming up next month. But other than that, I'm
Yeah,
not
D's is the
swinging.
only thing that we
Yeah,
typically.
D's. Yeah, I got D's as well as a major swing right now. I got about half of my account in DEEZ. So we'll see where that goes.
Joe's over there nodding like, yeah, and then once you spelled it out and he realized what you were actually saying, he's like,
so that's gonna pretty much bring us close to the end here. We're gonna get me and Joe are gonna link up. We're gonna get the affiliate link. Go ahead. What do you got to say?
hey Joe, do you well, I guess we're wrapping it up, but it would have been nice to
No,
see
go ahead.
maybe one
Go.
of your indicators pulled up real quick and
Yeah,
a
absolutely.
quick explaining of it for everyone.
Oh man, well, how do I share my screen?
So there should be right under the screen that we're on. There should be like the mute, double disable camera, and then you've got screen sharing right next to it. There
Yep,
should be
there it
three
is.
things. Yeah.
Well, because you were looking at Spy, let me pull up Spy. Okay.
Yeah, easy chart to correlate with everyone somewhat understanding.
Oh yeah,
of it,
I won't
so.
show the pivot probability stuff. I got something new called the seasonality dashboard out now. Let me go ahead and share that.
Where's it at? Oh, I see it. Hold on.
Also, I liked how you had the 200 week moving
Yeah.
average. That's what I got here too.
Yep.
Yeah. And for context, this little indicator here, this is a centered moving average. I haven't released this yet. I'm studying someone talking about centered moving averages, and I'm just kind of playing around with these settings here. Anyways, this thing here on the right-hand side, this little box, on the stream, it kind of looks a little choppy. So let me just go into the settings here and make everything a little larger then. Alrighty. So there you go. Oh, stream's cutting off the last trading day.
So explain. So the seasonality is taking the data from all the other seasons, correct? And then it's calculating it with the current, or
yeah. So let me get specific. So what this is doing is every single day for the month of May, it finds the first trading day for the month of May. That's what up here is.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're currently in the 15th trading day of the month of May. So this area right here is highlighted.
Okay, so is that little bullseye going to move with every day then?
Yep.
Okay.
In fact, it works in replay mode. If we go back, and the data takes the most recent data point. So if we're trading on the second trading day of the month, like it says right here, it's going to include the data from today also. So this is definitely a planning tool.
Okay.
So just so you know, just because there are assumptions when you're using seasonality, right? So just like what I said earlier about making assumptions on your trading tools, well, just with seasonality, the assumption that you're making is that price generally performs based off of some seasonal metric. And however, whatever seasonal metric you want to define that as, you can go ahead and do that. But for simplicity's sake, just look here at the bull bear column and this expected value column. So, and hell, if you want to make it just even simpler, just this bull bear column is separated by, is the day green? And how many times was that day green? And how many times was that day red? And how many times was that day red?
Yeah, that's
And-
nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Wow, that's pretty.
That's
pretty
definitely
cool.
a cool
Yeah,
indicator.
this is a very advanced indicator, and let me tell you something. I built this version of the indicator using arrays, and the new version. And as soon as I finished building this indicator, TradingView came out with matrices. So now I actually have a working version using a matrix, which actually makes this a lot. The next version of this is going to be insanely powerful and a lot faster too. So
Some more to come.
And then didn't
Oh,
they add
and I'm going to be. I'm just doing a final sweep on all my current indicators, updating them all, and then I'm probably going to be spending like a long time working on this thing because this has a lot of potential to be a really big deal.
Well, they added TradingView added as well, hovering over boxes as well.
Oh,
Can you give
yeah.
a description? Right.
Yeah, tooltips. Yeah.
So the tooltips, but it used to only be in the settings, correct? And now it's recently been brought to the actual.
The cells here. Yeah.
Yes. So
Yeah.
that's really nice too. So I mean, obviously, you're going to be able to do a lot with that if you choose to or
Oh,
not.
I
to.
already got a prototype with that planned out
Yeah.
with dynamic tooltips. So you can change, like, let's say you want information about just what each cell is. You can
Yeah.
add that. And then what I'm saying is I'm going to add tooltips. So when you hover over one of these things,
Yep.
it'll bring up a tooltip. And then there'll be settings, toggleable settings, where you can add or remove descriptive information. Like, for example, when we look at this trading day and it says 13 out of 17. So this means that 13 times out of 17 this trading day, the second trading day of May, was bullish or bearish. So if we go to today for practical purposes and we look at today, it's also 13 out of 17. But look at that. In 3 days, the 18th trading day of May, 21 times out of 29. This is the total number of times that day was sampled. So 21 out of 29 times, the 18th trading day of the month was green, 72.41%.
And that's nice to know because what day is that on then?
Just so you know, these aren't calendar days; these are trading days.
Trading days, yeah.
So calendar days. So if you want to actually get there, you have to say, okay, here's day. If we're trying to count from 15 to 18 here, we go 1, 2, 3, 4, or rather 1, 2, 3. I believe is that it? No, 1, 2, 3, 4, right there. Yeah, just 3 bars out. That's all from today. 1, 2, 3. That's the 25th of May.
Okay, so that would make that the 25th would be Wednesday.
Yeah.
So and then boom, boom, and then the 19th would be Friday.
No, it's just the next day, the 26th.
Yeah, so we got 15th, so that's 15th Monday, 16th Tuesday, 17th Wednesday, 18th.
No, the 16th is next Monday.
16th Monday. Okay, 16th, 17th,
Yeah,
18th,
the 23rd
19th,
is
20.
the 16th trading day of the month.
Yep. Okay,
I'm
and then
going to be adding more visuals on the chart that actually put a count. So there'll be an option where you can actually have the current trading days number on top here, and then in the future bars, it'll show you a count out to the end of the month.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that'll be sweet.
There's a ton of work that goes into, some of these. I've seen.
Well, this is the first version of the indicator, right? I just got this done, and now I'm like really committed to doing some major work on this. But I got like 3 other indicators that I want to keep absolutely up to date, and I'm rewriting that pivot point indicator, and I'm rewriting that probability indicator because they both were built in PineScript v4. I updated them to v5, but it was just an upgrade from 4 to 5, and now I gotta do a proper rewrite because so many things have changed and been updated in PineScript. And my coding style over the last year and a half of like really focusing on this as doing programming. So yeah, there's
so
some
lots
really
to
cool
come.
stuff.
Lots
Oh
to
my God.
come. Yeah, he's got lots to come as well as a lot of stuff already up. And like I said, me and Joey and the podcast itself and Joe now are working together. So we're gonna have all of his links down below. I already have we got the free one up here, but that'll be down below, and then we'll have all of your subscription based, all that stuff that you have, so you'll be able to get access to all of these indicators when you hit that link and you sign up with him. He's got a lot of stuff coming as well as a lot of stuff already out. And then also we'll go over just a couple things real quick. We got the whale streams, $10 off using code the stock Odin. So definitely click that link. If you are an options trader, you should be using Whale Stream. There's no other flow data that you need than Whale Stream. So hit them up. And then Odin's going to be working on the newsletter this week, so get on the newsletter, check that out. We get the plays before they happen, and then we've got like and subscribe, join our Discord, and yeah. Other than that, you guys got anything else before we close it out here?
Just go back to Joe's indicators. Actually, that's how this all came about. I actually found one of Joe's indicators. Messaged him, messaged him about it. Said, "Hey, man, great job. That's awesome."
I appreciate
and then I ended up getting linked up in his Discord, and so I've tried Joe's indicators, and I've got a lot that I use and don't use, and I've got my most familiar ones that I typically use. But it is nice, the one, especially the one that I tried out, the probability cones. That it's definitely a nice indicator for reference, and I mean that's all any indicator is.
Reference, yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely don't want to. We don't want to base our entire theories off of what the heck just happened. We don't want to base our entire theories off indicators. So there's definitely other aspects when it comes to, especially a lot of people overlook price action. Like when you're trading, how we trade price actions. My main indicator is price action.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
But with that being said, other than that, man, Joe, it was a pleasure having you on, dude. Thank you for coming out. I know we're gonna have a lot of fun stuff upcoming. We'll bring you back on maybe in a couple months here, once you got some more indicators built, and you hit the affiliate. We got an affiliate link down below if you want to check out Joe's indicators. Plus, we got the free link to see a couple of the free ones. Odin, it was a pleasure as well. Anything?
Yep.
Any last words, brother?
Nope. Just let's kill it next week. Hope everyone in the family eats next week and takes profits.
Yeah, we'll definitely eat next week. I know that's for sure. All right. Well, thanks guys for coming on, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And yeah, I'm out.
All right.